how I say happy Armistice Day. You guys know this is Veterans Day, recognizing all the veterans who served in the military, dead or alive. And want to give a shout out to my Uncle Mickey, who passed away. Rest in peace to Uncle Mickey. He served in World War II. And to my dad, rest in peace to my father. He served in the National Guard in 1957. So kudos. Now, where'd this come about? So in 1918 is when Armistice Day, on the conclusion of World War I, and it went into effect the following year in 1919 on November 11th, right? And then Eisenhower, Dwight D. Eisenhower, he's the 34th president. You guys know that. Back in 1954, he put it into law where we're celebrating Veterans Day. So, hey, hope you're having an awesome day. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how maybe you could give back. And I like to do that, and keeping your life simple and thinking positive. So let's do that. So right after Eisenhower, of course, you guys know, if you know your history, I hope you do, John F. Kennedy, he became the president, 35th president after Eisenhower on his inauguration on January 20th, 1961, 2 years before I was born. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Now, with all this going on, the government being shut down, hey, kudos. They're going to get back hopefully tomorrow. SNAP benefits not being paid. Everybody worried about what the government can do for them. Well, what about you? What can you do to give back? And let's talk a little bit about that, because I want to give a shout out to my book. You guys ever read this, How to Drink from the Fountain of Youth? Well, let me tell you, looking into chapter 11. Let's go, because 11 is a magic day. Well, wait a minute. Before we do that, I was thinking about that, because what does the 11 mean? It's like a magical number, right? In numerology, number 11 means intuition, sensitivity, wisdom, and spirituality, right? It's supposed to be a great number. I think it's a great number. 11-11 every day. Does anybody do that? When the clock hits 11-11, you make a wish? It's supposed to be the luckiest time of the day. I seem to do that. And being today is 11-11, let's make it the luckiest day of the year. Speaking of which, like I said, so step 11, I wrote this book, How to Drink from the Fountain of Youth, 30 Steps to Everlasting Youth, because I believe that anybody can be 20 years younger than they actually are. I do believe that, right? So step 11 is think positive, right? It's one of my favorites. It's one of the best steps in the book. I guess out of the top 3 steps, think positive is definitely one of the best. And in this chapter, okay, one of my favorite movies, I want to give a shout out to Robert Redford. You know, Robert Redford being the amazing movie star that he was, rest in peace. He made a movie back in 1972. You guys know this. I've talked about it numerous times. Hey, if there's a remake, I would like to be considered for that. It came out on December 21st, 1972. Makes it a 53-year-old movie. I was 9 years old at the time. Came out in New York City. Give a shout out to New York City. You guys go listen to the show from last week with Ed Winslow. Interviewed him. He gave his thoughts on what's going to happen with New York City. But hey, I lived there for 12 years, so amazing city. This movie was made for $3 million and it grossed over $45 million at the box office, right? It's about a Mexican war veteran. Robert Redford plays Jeremiah Johnson. Takes place circa 1850, right? The Mexican War ended, I think, in 1848, lasted 2 years. He leaves society, leaves civilization to go be a trapper in the Rocky Mountains, which he knows nothing about living in the mountains or being a mountain man. But he's a tough dude, you know, being a war veteran. And he meets this guy, Bear Claw, played by Will Greer. Rest in peace to Will Greer. And this is one of my favorites. It's the last scene. Well, he meets him, and he's totally clueless. He's dressed like a war veteran himself, and Will Greer's wearing the bear suit. Well, you got to watch that movie. It's a classic. And so here's what happens. He goes through the entire movie shows you the trials and tribulations of a man who left society to go be a mountain man, which is almost not even possible, right? So at the very end, the very last scene, which I think is the best scene in the entire movie, it says it all. He comes across Bear Claw again after not having seen him for a long time, and he lived a full life already. Bear Claw says, You've come far, pilgrim. Jeremiah, feels like far. Bear Claw, were it worth the trouble? Jeremiah, what trouble? There's no trouble, and you should see what he had to go through. I mean, hell on earth is what he went through. And a lot of death, a lot of fighting, a lot of unfortunate things happened to Jeremiah along the way, but to him, it was the journey, right? So make it about the journey, people. And let me read you something from step 14, which is another great step in this book. It's called Keep It Simple. All right, here we go. It says, it has become a ritual of mine to go through all of my clothes and closets on a monthly basis, purging my wardrobe and other possessions of those in relatively good condition that I no longer wear or use. The intent of this asset purging activity is twofold. One, to clear space for new assets while letting go of attachments to old assets that no longer serve me well. And two, to help others less fortunate. That's the key, right? Hey, if you're a fortunate person and you got a closet full of whatever, you got to purge and you got to give things back. I mean, I just went to Goodwill the other day. I went to the store and bought some more new Calvin Klein underwear that I wear. So I went through all my closets and socks and underwear, and I put a nice big bag together and give it to Goodwill because, hey, why not? If I'm fortunate enough to buy new stuff, let me give to those who are less fortunate. And today, there's a lot of people less fortunate out there. And there's a lot of people that could use a little extra help. So whatever it is in your closet, clothes, jackets, especially now it's wintertime, it's 20 degrees over here. And that's another thing I'll talk to you about in a second. I purged the gym membership. So, but here we go. I want to read this because this is the outro to the book. These are the secrets to my success, right? Because I believe that I got stuck at the age of 30, right? That's what I think. I mean, I try to be more than 20 years younger, but here we go. This is what I believe. It says here, how to drink from the fountain of youth, 30 steps to everlasting youth is no doubt a challenging roadmap to looking and feeling and being 20 years younger than your actual age. Youthfulness doesn't come easy. But just like Earth's brightest star will come peeking over the horizon first thing tomorrow, you could be 100% assured of this. If you so choose to embrace them, my auspicious methodologies will serve you very well in the long run, or shall I say, they work. Because they do work, guys. I mean, this is a simple book, a pretty cool book to read. I wrote this during COVID when COVID had just begun. Nobody knew what was going on. The world was falling apart at that time. So, hey, if you don't want to read the sub and learn all there is to know about inner city classrooms and youth and how to improve upon that, especially if you're a teacher, I'm going to be interviewing those who write books about teaching and teachers. I decided that I really want to focus on how we can positively impact society by teachers who have experience. Now, me being a sub, I talk about it. I'm like the junkyard dog who could bark but not bite. But anyway, let's talk about this because this is another thing I decided yesterday when I woke up and it was like 18 degrees out. My car had 3-4 inches of snow on it. And I'm thinking, I don't want to go out there and clear off the snow. So I just go to the gym. You guys know I go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. So I couldn't do it. So what did I do? I went to the gym in the building. And this is what's interesting. When I first moved into this building, I moved in August 11th. Part of what what kind of put me over the edge was it had a great gym. Nobody was in the gym and it didn't look like anybody really used the gym, but I really liked the gym. But then when I moved in here, I end up joining another gym. So I have 2 gym memberships, which I've since deleted. Again, purging. So, I kind of just looked into this. Let me just show you this. So I have 2 gym memberships at the cost of, and I'm calculating what it cost me to drive there. I always go get a cup of coffee on the way. So I'm spending about $150 a month between 2 gym memberships. I'm thinking, wait a minute. I have a gym in my building, right? Is it necessary for me to have 2 gym memberships to spend the time, drive there now that it's getting 20 degrees out there? It's cold in the car. The car takes forever to warm up. I said, no, it's not necessary. Why can't I just work out in the gym here? Nobody's there. And I said, I could do about 80 to 90% of what I could get done in the other gyms. I could do it here. So I said, you know what? $150 a month equates to over 2,000 a year after tax. So boom, I just saved 2,000 a year by getting rid of 2 gym memberships. So if you're a person who has a gym membership or a membership of any sort, matter of fact, I had a one of these big clubhouse, one of these food places, right? Whatever it was like 65, 70 bucks here, but I don't go there. So what you want to do is you want to purge. Go through and ask yourself, is it necessary? Is this necessary? Is this membership, this magazine that I don't read? I mean, there's now there's like services now that you can go and they can tell you exactly what you're a membership of. What about like magazines, newspapers, whatever it is? If you're not getting use out of it, purge, especially gym memberships. And for those of you who are going to be thinking about joining a membership in January and never going, don't do it. Don't do it. Save the capital. Put it towards something else that's more important in your life, right? And that goes with alcohol, guys. By the way, that goes with alcohol. December 2nd, 2007, I gave up alcohol. So I have no idea how many thousands of dollars that I saved instead of drinking a 6-pack a night or whatever the number was. So anybody can. Anybody could drink from the fountain of youth. Anybody could quit any habit or something in their life that doesn't serve them well. You can do it. Don't say you cannot do it. You can do it. Especially, I was listening to this show the other day about woman was talking about how we get addicted to certain kinds of foods, processed foods, sugar foods. You can do it. Get rid of it. It's not necessary. Cookies. I used to be a cookie monster, guys. I haven't bought cookies in 6 months, a year. I have no idea. Get rid of it. So that's it for today, guys. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, but I'm hoping you get inspired on the luckiest day of the year, 11/11, celebrating those who fought for our country, continue to fight for our country, all necessary. Kudos to everyone in the military, man. Keep up the good work. And to everyone else out there, give back. Do what you can for your country. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. Look forward to the government getting back on track. As I say, get your workout in. Peace.